All right, are we filming?
Yeah.
So we're a couple of beers deep, or I'm a couple of beers deep. Apparently I'm not letting people in, but we're gonna go check out the party. It's our third book, and there's a bunch of people that came out, so I'm appreciative of that.
I get here, half the decks are broken, can't even play music, but guess what? The homies showed up. And after that, guess what else happened? We had a blast.
Yeah, so we threw our Jenkem book party last night for a release of the new book, and yeah, it's just hectic. I forgot, like, when you're throwing an event, but it went off super well. Like, at the end of the day, people just want to drink beer with their friends and see everyone. So I think the party went well, but of course I said, oh, I'm not going to drink that much for this one, and of course I drank way too much, so I'm a little hungover, and my keys are still at the bar. We're going to probably get my keys and then have to go to the office. We have a guy who, he helps with the front desk. We'll see what he says. He's kind of funny. You feel free to point the camera at him. He's a character.
I don't mind. I ain't quite photogenic.
Yeah, oh yeah, I know, clearly.
So yeah, what's the deal with Ian and Jenkem? What do you think about their whole business here?
Yeah, these guys are lost souls for sure.
Yeah, this is your moment.
I've had so many moments like this in my life.
Have
you seen me in commercials? I used
oh,
to
he was a guy.
Yeah.
I knew, yeah, I mean.
Then, yeah, when I was younger,
Yeah.
slimmer, I was in commercials. So that was a long time ago.
All right, have a good one. See ya. So this is some of our storage. This is how well we just have a bunch of like storage units like this, which they're not even storage units, they're actually supposed to be offices. But if you're wondering where your stuff comes from, it comes from somewhere like this, and me, Larry, Alexis, or one or two other people are probably packing it. Oh man, feels good to sit.
So this is it.
Yeah. Yep. This is where we work out of. Oh, this is the illustrious front blunt hat.
Yep. Don't forget Sylmore, front salad, back salad, front blunt.
Who knew? Who knew this would blow up like it did? And I'm super thankful. So props to Owen Wilson and Yeah Right and Girl, because I'm pretty hyped on this hat. I try to keep stuff around the office that keeps me in kind of like younger me brain. So then anytime I'm jaded or whatever, like I get hyped on the stuff that I liked in 7th, 8th, 9th grade. I mean, the good thing is, like, when you start something young enough and you're naive enough about it, that to me is a big positive thing. My main motivator for starting Jenkem was like, if I don't try it, I'm gonna kick myself when I'm older that I didn't. So at least if I try it and it fails, at least I know I gave it my best. Were there doubters? It wasn't supposed to be what it is now. It was just a fun little thing. And, we had this house in school called the Jenkem house, which was like a grimy skate house. Me and the skaters that lived there, we all had the same interests in skating, which was like influences like Big Brother, but also just like general like buffoonery that we grew up liking. And then on top of that, I was in college and there wasn't that much like nourishing skate media at the time. There wasn't anything that asked more questions than where are you from, where's your first board, how'd you get started skating, who your first sponsor was. And as someone that isn't 12, it's not interesting at all. So I was like, can we mix deeper dive like coverage and not just of pros, just in skate culture in general, because that's what I'm most interested in. And can we mix it with the low of Big Brother and kind of mix them together, and that's kind of what Jenkem became. And it has an evolution from there, but that was the original idea behind it.
I started as an intern in 2013, and then I came back and maybe like full-time in like 2015. I had just like moved here, and the skateboarding scene in New York was like really starting to get going. It was like, at the time when, Cherry had just come out and a bunch of skaters had just started moving here, and like all that kind of stuff was like happening at once. And I was like, damn, there's something really exciting going on here. And Ian was kind of the only person, other than like Quarter Snacks, that was like covering what was happening here. And so I was like, yeah, I'm gonna try to get involved and see what's up.
I think the book thing started because I had the itch to put out something physical. You know, when you're sitting at the computer and doing like, even just videos and editing text there, sometimes it feels fleeting just to not have something you can hold. So the first book we published in 2015, and I thought we'd do a book every year or two after that. So then we did another book in 2018, and then the next book, volume 3, was supposed to come out in 2020, and then we all know what happened in 2020. But it's all new stories. It's essentially like the website, but the theme of it was NBD stories. So stories that haven't been told yet, whether that's the history of Skate Tricks, which is a porn DVD that involves skateboarding.
We have a story about the Naked 540. We have a Greg Hunt story about Dylan, about making the Dylan DVD from Gravis. And we have stuff from Ben Sedon about Paris and new skaters in Paris.
Or just a different angle, or hard to interview people like Jake Johnson, stuff like that. I like this thing too. This is a poster that we included that was kind of like the Jenkem universe. This illustrator, John Horner, made it. And this is Pyro skating when the Yeezy came out. You remember that Yeezy shoe? That shit was like really big, and that was an early viral video for us. So they threw in Pyro. We did a collab with Cliche where all the world leaders were doing Jenkem together. So that's that reference. Tom Penny. These are all Tom Penny lookalikes because we did a Tom Penny lookalike contest one Halloween. This is Eli Reed. Eli Reed, funny enough, I don't think a lot of people know this, but Eli Reed skated the Playboy Mansion for a promo. And this is a homage to that, which is pretty ridiculous. Here's Acid Boy, Zach. This is him when he tripped Street League on acid. And obviously it's an homage to Hunter S. Thompson, yeah. So this is him tripping balls at Street League, and then we got Hunter S. Thompson there and just a little riff on that. So that was a fun one. I'd say the first things that like got blips on the radar, you know, in the global skate community consciousness maybe, was first Jereme Rogers, an interview with Jereme Rogers. Then we, you know, funny enough from that, we got an email from Danny Gonzalez, who's an old pro. And he was like, hey, I really liked your Jereme interview. I have a lot of stories to tell, and I want to tell my story. Would you be down to interview me? And I was like, is this that Danny Gonzalez, like the wall ride, ceiling ride guy? And then he like sent me a photo of him over email, because there wasn't Instagram yet. Like, it sounds so ridiculous. I can't even believe I'm like, when did this exist? Like this different time where it was, you couldn't get in touch with everyone at all times. You had to find someone's email, which was hard to find. So we interviewed Danny Gonzalez, and that did really well. It was a gradual thing. So Jenkem's like bootstrapped. It's just whatever we could make. That's how the business runs. In the beginning, I was working a part-time job in this wine bar. And then actually after 3 years, I was able to quit it. So it did take 3 years of putting stuff out. What's up, man? We're throwing a TV in here. Kind of just looking back on it now, year one is like, just put good stuff out and get on the map. And then after year one, I sent probably 100 emails, and I got back like 2 responses. And man, that was like super rough. Like I was pretty much ready to give up at that point. Oh, whoopsie. Yeah, we got $200 from Brick Harbor eventually, and then 500 from Lakai, and then 500 from Deluxe. And Jim gave me a phone call, and he's like, I like what you're doing. Let's try to get something going. And just that small amount, then I knew, okay, like, you know, if you're making $1,500 a month, like back then that was like really, really, really good. Ian? Hectic. I just think it was a different landscape. Like I was definitely intimidated because I wasn't like a tough independent guy, thrasher guy, and I didn't grow up in SF, and I didn't bomb hills. So going to the trade shows and talking to people like that, I felt really out of place. And I felt like I looked young and I looked different, and I didn't have tattoos and sleeves, and I didn't fucking speak the same language, and I didn't have the boys club history with them. So, I don't know, just chipped away. Yeah. I try to take influence from things outside of skating, because you can only, if you just take influence from skating, it can only kind of be derivative of what's been done already. But the goal with Jenkem was also to bring in outside influences and do them like skate-wise. And that's how, in my opinion, you'll make skating more interesting, because you're taking elements of something from outside of it. You know, the leap of faith was such like a monumental little viral moment for the skate community and way beyond, because it started sharing with like Kazaa and P2P. And I think there's a lot of mystery around it because the leap of faith we've only seen from one angle in a 26-second clip. So it's kind of stuck in this like little bubble, static bubble. And yeah, with the characters, I scheduled everyone really tightly together with overlap because I knew they either didn't know each other or hadn't seen each other in a while. Like Jamie Thomas obviously knew Josh Casper, but he hadn't seen him in a long time. And it was funny, yeah, and how we edited it was like, you mention someone and then they walk in, and I wanted that to feel like, you know, when Joey or when Kramer walks in the door and you're like, yeah, Kramer. And that was the intent behind that, because that's the cool part, is seeing your heroes with their ability to talk about something monumental 10, 20, 30 years later. Yeah, I'm proud of that piece. I think it came out the way I wanted it to. If you want to turn a passion into a business, in my point of view, obviously you have to fill a gap that's unfulfilled, but also I think why Jenkem worked was because I was fulfilling a need that I wanted as a fan. So be the fan. And Rick Rubin said this, it's like, what are you missing? What are you undernourished as the fan of skating or the fan of music? And what's not there for you? And you talk to your friends like, oh yeah, that would be cool. Like, well then go make it. You know, that's it. That's the opportunity, because we know we're the demographic. Yeah, be the fan, and what do you want to see as a fan? Then go make that. You know, what motivates me are the stories and the interviews, and I feel like Jenkem squeezed a lot out of New York and stories and did profiles and hanging out with, and we're always going to be here, but I also I have a little bucket list of people that I want to work with and interview and shoot with, and a lot of those people are in LA, like especially the older guard of skating. Like, you know, I look up to people like Damon Way, you know, co-founder of DC, and you know, just to do something with Rodney Mullen and a couple of those sorts of people, and they're more than likely not going to come here, so I'm going to California to get some of those people. And then it would be cool to do like a little Europe chapter too. You know, Pontus was like, hey, you should do a Euro headquarters and, you know, get Kevin Rodriguez, do something on, you know, this guy, that guy, that guy. I was like, because in Europe's great because you can just travel country to country in like 2 hours. I just want to chase the stories, and I'm not going to wait for them to come to me in New York. I'm going to go after them if we can support it. We just did the party last night, and then I'm flying to LA tomorrow, and then we're going to do it there on Saturday, which I haven't done before, so hopefully it's cool.
Thank you, everyone.
I should have done it before I drank a bunch of alcohol last night. Oh well.